following an exceptionally dangerous situation tonight. Another tornado emergency has been issued on this cell that has been producing a tornado for over an hour and a half now. Let's take a look at where this is in western Kentucky. This is southeast or east of Paducah, Kentucky, and a tornado warning now for Livingston and Lyon counties. That's where the storm is now, but a downstream tornado emergency in effect for Caldwell, including the town of Princeton, and the storm is going to be closing in very rapidly here. The tornado is that ball right there. That is the tornado. We call that a debris ball, and the storm is moving northeast now at 50 miles per hour on that trajectory, coming into Buena Vista Estates in 7 minutes, Carmack in 4 minutes, Delaney in 14 minutes, Princeton in 19 minutes. In any of these areas, you've got to get to your safe place right away. You've got to get to the lowest, most interior room, away from the windows. We have seen so much in the way of damage and debris from this storm. It's been going for such a long time, and it's got a profound radar signature here. This is as dangerous as it gets. When we look at the velocity data, looking at the winds moving towards the radar in green and away from the radar in yellow and brown there, that's 141 mile per hour velocity that is showing up in that storm. So you've got winds that are at least that strong in this tornado. We are also seeing a pronounced debris signature. That area of blue and green color right there in that sea of red, that is debris. That could be tree debris, it could be structural debris, whatever the case. That is the tornado, and that again is moving towards the northeast now at 50 miles per hour. So again, coming into Buena Vista Estates in 7 minutes, moving into Saratoga at 11 minutes, moving at 45 miles per hour, coming into Delaney in 13 minutes, and into Princeton in 18 minutes. And again, there is now a tornado emergency in effect for Princeton. Please, folks, get to that safe place right away. And, Mike, we've both been doing this for a long time. I can't remember the last time we saw a storm that was on the ground for such a long period of time.
It's really a sight tonight. I mean, there's no question about that. And we've actually seen, a decent amount of video showing us tornadoes tonight, and big tornadoes, big cone tornadoes hitting us. I'm going to show you what's happening tonight on the radar with a couple different lines of storms hitting us. By the way, there it is. There's the video. Watch the lightning happen here, and you're going to see the tornado illuminate. It's just a wild scene. This is just outside Jonesboro on Highway 1. But at night, you'd have no idea that was coming unless there was lightning. But a really powerful storm. This, I believe, Carl, this might be the exact same cell that you're still tracking tonight into Kentucky.
Yeah, I think it is.
Oh, really, really wild. And we do have some more information to pass along with these storms tonight. In Edwardsville, Illinois, this is just outside of St. Louis, confirmed now that the Amazon distribution center there has a mass casualty incident. This is reported by emergency services there. Structure collapse. Multiple subjects trapped at the Amazon warehouse on Gateway Commerce Drive. So these storms have been very, very serious tonight. We know in Monette, Arkansas, a nursing home was hit there. First responders on the scene, search and rescue ongoing, numerous injuries. So a very violent night tonight. We want you to do everything you can to stay safe this evening. All right, just want you to be smart, be safe, and you can get through this. Coles and Douglas counties here in Illinois under a tornado warning. Northern Indiana now. This is Keener, Valparaiso to the north here. Jasper and Porter counties with a tornado warning until 10:30 this evening. Not to mention a ton of rain for you this evening. Let's go down again south of Champaign here, east side of I-57. Coles and Douglas County with a tornado warning. As we time that out, East Oakland 10:30 is the expected arrival for you on that storm. You got 5 minutes. You need to get to your safe spot. Basement's a safe place to go, or a ground level room that doesn't have windows. So what you want to do is put a lot of barriers between you and the tornado. So a lot of walls between you and the tornado. You want to stay away from windows as well. Tornado warning, Madison County. Now that distribution center sits right about here, that warehouse that's been hit. But there's a tornado warning, big squall line here. I'm getting bow echoes, it looks like on the radar here. So big straight line wind events could be happening south of Litchfield. Radar indicated tornado, that warning until 10:30 this evening. Follow the line back down across the river. Let's go back down toward Piedmont. Iron, Madison, Reynolds County here under a tornado warning. This is into Arkansas, going across southern Missouri, headed over toward Interstate 60 or Interstate 55, but coming across Highway 67. 11 o'clock, the expiration on that warning. So Annapolis, just one of the spots that could be hit. Now let's head back down toward Dyer Lake and Pemiscot counties here. Tennessee to the east, Arkansas to the west. I-55 comes right down through here. Dyersburg, Folks, a heads up, tornado coming your way. Please get to a safe spot just as fast as you can. 155, 69, those are going to be highways that will be impacted. I-40 as well. 1045, the expiration on that. A lot of violent weather tonight. We just want you to be safe and armed with the knowledge to do that. And of course, special coverage continues through the night. You can download our app for your TV. If you have a cable or satellite subscription, you can get the Weather Channel on Roku, on Fire Stick, or your smart TV for 24/7 access.
The ride of your life is closer than you think. For the first time ever, buy your new car entirely from home with Nissan.
Thanks for staying with us for our live coverage of Winter Storm Atticus, as well as a very significant severe weather and tornado threat across the south. I want to bring you a look right now. The pictures on your screen are from Monette, Arkansas. A tornado outbreak is happening right now. 2 people have died as that tornado hit that nursing home right there in Monette, Arkansas. In Edwardsville, Illinois, multiple people have died after a tornado ripped the roof off of an Amazon distribution center. According to the fire department, multiple people are still trapped inside that on the northeast side of St. Louis. We still have a very significant tornado threat playing out this evening. Will continue, we believe, for several more hours. Our severe specialist, Carl Parker, has been tracking one tornado in particular, Carl, the one that hit Monette, where we know that people have died in the nursing home. Almost all along its whole lifespan here, more than 150 miles now, it's had a tornado emergency on it. The returns on this have been absolutely insane. I've never seen you query a wind on a tornado of 141 miles per hour before. This is a beast.
It is a beast, and apparently we just lost power to the Paducah radar, so we're going with another radar right now, and we want to give you the latest on this thing. It was actually it's a little past Princeton right now, so it was a little ahead, there's a look at where that strongest of circulations, where the strongest circulation is right now, and so that is near Dawson Springs. This continues to be an exceptionally dangerous storm moving northeast right now, coming into Dawson Springs in 2 minutes, moving into St. Charles in 10 minutes, coming into Earlington in 15 minutes, and Anton in 24 minutes. Extremely dangerous storm right now, and we are still seeing a debris signature showing up there in Dawson Springs, and just a very strong velocity signature as well, closing in on Dawson Springs. So please get to your safe place now in Dawson Springs. As Mike has mentioned, this thing has been on the ground for probably a couple of hours now. A brand new tornado emergency in effect for Dawson Springs. Let's get a look at that. It's coming into Dawson Springs right now, and here's the latest on that. Caldwell Hopkins County is under warning right now, and catastrophic threat with this tornado emergency. It's not as visible in the reflectivity here, but certainly when we look at the velocity data, we see that it continues to be an extraordinarily dangerous storm. Now, just about on top of you in Dawson Springs. So again, please get to your safe place right now. Now, let's go ahead and draw a longer path here, because this thing has been going for so long and could very well continue well beyond those tornado warned areas. And so it's going to be moving into Dawson Springs right now, St. Charles in 10 minutes, Madisonville in 18 minutes, and then possibly beyond that towards Anton and Sacramento. So in those areas as well, you want to be ready for a very strong tornado potentially coming your way, and there's really not much reason to believe that it won't be that. But Mike, it's just been an awful night here, and it's just incredible that this thing doesn't want to weaken at all. It really doesn't.
You had mentioned off camera that the the long track of this took you back a little bit to the outbreak of 2011, the super outbreak, because that's what we saw.
Yeah, I mean, and some of these, signatures as well look very much like some of the signatures that we saw, the storm that came into Tuscaloosa, Alabama, into Birmingham, Alabama, same kind of thing. So I would not be surprised at all to hear that we were looking at a large, what we call wedge tornado, moving through these areas with perhaps, very wide funnel and, just extreme damage at points along the path.
We have been fortunate to this point that no major metropolitan areas have been in the path of that, but it's the night is still young, according to the severe weather that's going to happen tonight. But it's going to go on for several more hours. There's still a lot more time. I want you to be safe in all of this. And so as we time this out for you, you can see what the radar is looking at tonight, multiple areas of severe weather. And so it's a matter of time before your location gets hit. Memphis, you're one of those spots. Little Rock as well. Storm's really firing for us here over the next couple of hours, and you could get hit for a couple of hours with multiple rounds, all right? That's the thing. The first one comes through, it's not over. Nashville, middle of the night, we're getting hit. Here we are, 4 o'clock in the morning with the storm line coming through. You notice here that the flow comes in like this, just kind of feeding that frontal boundary that's swinging through with the squall line. For Memphis, again, over the course of the next hour to 2, the real intense stuff starts to roll in. Here we are, 1 o'clock in the morning. Tunica, Memphis, Millington getting hit. Storms coming across I-40. Again, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're getting hit. And then the storms push east of you. Oxford, you're getting hit, though. And Jackson, you're getting hit as well. I want to take you to Nashville. Next couple of hours, we're okay. But around, say, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, big-time storms coming through. Severe weather for us, 4 o'clock as well. And then finally clearing out around 7 o'clock in the morning. A much-improved Saturday for you in Middle Tennessee.
It's our holiday savings event on the Sleep Number 360 smart bed.
What if I sleep hot?
Or cold?
Welcome back. It's been an awful night tonight across parts of the Mid-South, and we are still looking at a tornado emergency with the very same storm that we have been watching for probably 2 hours now, continuously producing tornado warnings. Tornado warning for Caldwell, Christian, Hopkins County. Tornado emergency now in effect for Caldwell and Hopkins, including Dawson Springs and St. Charles. Then a new downstream tornado warning in effect for Hopkins, McLean, Muhlenberg counties. Observed and considerable threat. We are watching this ball showing up here very clearly on the radar. That is the tornado. It has just moved away from Dawson Springs. Looks like it's going to pass to the northwest of downtown St. Charles, and then will continue along towards the northeast. Now moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. And so tracking this forward, seeing where it's going to be headed next. As that continues to move northeast, that'll move into Earlington in 8 minutes or very close to it. 17 minutes coming into Anton, 26 minutes moving into Sacramento, Buttonsbury in 32 minutes, and Livermore in 36 minutes. You should be prepared all along the path of this storm, as it has been, as we mentioned, producing a tornado for probably close to 2 hours now in over 150 miles. This has been an unbelievably dangerous storm for a long, long period of time. Also, just to the northwest of that, tornado warning in effect for Crittenden and Livingston and Pope counties right now. And so we're watching that storm move up towards the Smithland area. Let's go ahead and track that forward as that moves out to the northeast. That's going to be producing a possible tornado near Birdsville and then Salem, and also towards Levias as well. But Mike, just a really scary night across parts of the Mid-South tonight.
It goes through the night. There could be that threat even tomorrow morning or first half of your day, and then in the eastern half of the country. And so we're not quite done with it. We think the tornado threat comes down a little bit tomorrow, but we still think there's going to be a lot of severe weather to contend with in the morning. You can see where the storm lines are right now. Carl's been going through a lot of the warnings for you tonight, but for many of you, the threat's going to stay with us. We think that we're going to have some opportunities here for tornadoes to be with us. Likely, at least through the first half of your day tomorrow. You can see that we've got tornado warnings here outside of Champaign, right at the Illinois-Indiana state line. Edgar, Vermilion counties under that tornado warning, extending back to the west now. Bond, Fayette, Montgomery counties here in Illinois with a tornado warning. So timing that out for you, a place like South Hurricane 1045. So you got 4 minutes to get to a safe spot. In Dry Point 1116, you've got you know, you don't have a lot of time in any of these particular spots, but I think that's also looking at a bow-whack could be forming in there as well. So even if you don't have a tornado that comes in, I think you could have very intense straight line winds. Follow the line. Farther back south now, Iron and Madison counties with a tornado warning through Missouri, about to come right over, or is coming over, Highway 67 as we speak, and that could eventually hold together across Highway 61. Bigger picture through Kentucky and Tennessee, numerous tornado warnings for us here. North of I-40, strong line here around Dyersburg, Dyer County, with a tornado warning, then extending up toward Union City. Numerous warnings at this point. So again, the best thing you can do is get to your safe spot. Identify that place in your home. Is it a basement? Is it a ground level room that doesn't have windows? Say like under a stairwell, half bath that you might have on your first floor. It's a safe place for you to be that offers you some protection. Gibson, Obion, Weakley counties under a tornado warning here. These are similar places that were hit by tornado warnings earlier today. Again, Obion around Dixie, Woodland Mills. Please take shelter quickly. Your warning extends until 11:15. Want to take you to Haiti, Missouri. Large tornado illuminated by some lightning here. It's going to be dark, and then boom, you see that? That's a massive tornado. You see it from a distance. A wedge tornado generally defined by being wider than it is tall. That is just scary stuff. And you can't even, look how low the clouds are, right? So you've got really low hanging wall cloud here that this is protruding from, but you can't see it unless there's lightning. So the radar is your best friend tonight, because storm spotters are going to have a hard time seeing this unless they're just truly Johnny on the spot looking at it, right? But tough to do in these kind of conditions, especially across the south where there are a lot of trees, and usually there's a lot of things in between you and the tornado that you can't see. It's obscuring your view. As I mentioned, tomorrow the threat continues. Torcana 3 highlighted in red here, north of the Ohio River, maybe around Chillicothe and Cincinnati, back down through Lexington, Bowling Green, Nashville, near Huntsville. Here's one of the big issues. We've got a really strong jet streak here, and you're going to have...
We are still watching a tornado warning that has been a tornado warning for a couple of hours now, maybe more than that. It's been on the ground for at least 150 miles, if not longer. It's unbelievable how long this thing has been lasting. And here's the latest on the storm. A new tornado emergency now in effect, and that includes the cities of Earlington, Madisonville, and Nortonville, Hopkins, and Muhlenberg counties under this tornado emergency right now. Also a downstream tornado warning in effect for Hopkins, McLean, and Muhlenberg counties, and then another downstream tornado warning in effect for Ohio County in Kentucky. There is the latest on the radar, and that is the tornado right there, now moving to the northeast about 45 miles per hour. On that trajectory is going to be coming into Fees in 5 minutes, Earls in 7 minutes, Bremen in 14 minutes, and South Carrollton in 18 minutes. And wider view here, we'll take it out a little bit farther so we can see who might be affected by this in the longer term. And, again, this storm has really not been showing any signs of weakening. We've seen it wane a little bit from time to time, but for the most part has been an incredibly serious threat for a long, long time. May eventually make its way towards Beat-Up and Centertown and Bell's Run as well. But as you look at this thing, you can clearly see that well-developed ball there. That is the tornado about ready to cross Interstate 69 right in there, and now moving off to the northeast again at about 45 miles per hour in coming towards Fees and Millport as well. And Mike, as we look at the reports here, just a really long path on this thing. Major damage being reported in Mayfield in western parts of Kentucky. No further details available at this time. Looking at some of the other reports here, farther to the southwest, got a report just outside of Union City. Samberg Fire Station took a direct hit, people trapped in the damage there. Also, large tornado being reported in Deering, and then Hornersville, tornado reported by law enforcement. And then Monette, we heard about serious damage in Monette, and also a tornado in Bay. So that has been this single storm, this single tornado on the ground for an incredibly long period of time, Mike, and it is not over yet.
We really haven't noticed any any significant breaks in that where it cycled down to almost nothing and then reformed. It's stayed pretty consistent.
Yeah, it had a couple of moments where the inflow got cut off, and it looked like it was not showing as much of a velocity signature, and maybe the debris was also beginning to wane just a little bit. But there was just a couple of moments in that whole long path. I mean, for the most part, all along the path, it was extremely well developed. Large wedge tornado, most likely, and very well developed debris signature.
We've been tracking this thing for 3.5 hours plus at this point now. Rudimentary math here, maybe about 160 miles so far. The record for longest track tornado in American history is 219 miles with the Tri-State tornado back in 1925. Knowing that what you're seeing right now is it hasn't weakened significantly yet. I mean, it's not inconceivable that we couldn't rival that tonight.
Yeah, at a minimum, you're talking about an historic event. You're talking about a tornado event, the likes of which does not occur very often at all. I think this is going to be up there with some of the bigger tornado events that we have seen in American history.
You had mentioned that it may be on par with some of that we saw in the super outbreak in 2011 as well.
Yeah.
Carl, thank you. Really rough nights in a lot of places, unfortunately. And we know that we've got a long way still to go this evening. We have tornado watches that are pretty numerous at this point that extend up into the Midwest, including through Indiana and Illinois. They extend over into portions of Kentucky, Middle Tennessee, back down through Mississippi. We may see some of these even extended farther eastbound, but a lot of these go till 2 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. So you get the point. And what time is it now? It's not even midnight yet Eastern time, and some of these watches are being extended 5 hours. 6 hours from now. So that tells you what the risk is tonight. It's very intense, and so at this point, it behooves you to be able to pay attention to the weather tonight. I know you might want to get some sleep and think, okay, I'm going to be fine. Maybe just consider sleeping in your safe spot tonight. Then you're already going to be there, right? So just get everyone to that safe spot tonight. Hunker down, get the pillows, the mattresses, the blankets, and just be safe. Again, several lines that are hitting us tonight across the Mid-South in particular. I want to take you right across so right here is the Illinois-Indiana state line, right over into western Indiana. Fountain Park, Vermilion counties are under a tornado warning back into Illinois, just north of Vandalia here. Fayette County's under a tornado warning, including Bowling Green. South Hurricane toward Dry Point. It's coming through for you. You may have some hail within that one as well, but ultimately, between, say, Vandalia and Sefton here, these are locations we want you to take shelter pretty quickly tonight. Sefton going to be there in less than 10 minutes, or maybe even less than that. That squalling is basically on top of you at this point. We've had a lot of damage outside of St. Louis with the storms that have come through, including in Edwardsville, where portions of an Amazon warehouse have collapsed. Mass casualties being reported there. I want to take you to some more warnings this evening. That radar is just not showing up right now, but around Salem or toward Marion in Kentucky, very intense storm with a tornado warning. And be sure to stay with the Weather Channel. Special overnight coverage will continue. Download our app for your TV. If you're a cable or satellite